Hey, wild woman, inspiring, leading, and developing. It is time for another word of wisdom. Wow. And we are keeping our focus on the life. Walking in faith every day. I almost did another W. I love a good alliteration, but okay. Walking in faith every day. So this is a space for women who are married, preparing to marry, been married a long time, frustrated, irritated, happy, joyous, whatever space you are in. This is where we're going to process out some of the things that we need to attend to as a wife. So yeah, you're wondering what's going on with the all of this. So we know that from the last time we were together, we decided to tackle the Battle of Valentine's Day. Yes, it's around the corner, and it is one of those things that has been developed to make us miserable. No, it was designed to celebrate love and encourage relationship, but it has taken a turn for the worse. So we are in, maybe we don't need to be. So I'm going to spend a little time today with us talking about where the battle rages and where it really doesn't need to rage, what we can do for ourselves to get out of it. And remember last week, wasn't the last time we were together, we talked about, for me, the source of all things true is the Bible in First Corinthians chapter 13 gives us a whole breakdown on what love is and love isn't. So I'm going to pull out just a couple of those today and then tie it to what we know about the psychology of things. Because why not? So when we look at First Corinthians 13, we see that there's this battle that there is between what love is and what it isn't. Like it's really clear. It either is patient and kind, right? It is patient and kind. It does not envy or boast. And when you think about that, patience and kindness in conflict with envying and boast, it is not arrogant, it is not rude. And if you're patient and kind, it's really hard to be arrogant and rude at the same time. It does not insist on its own way. Hoo. This is what I want. This is what you better do for me. Valentine's Day is coming. I know I better get. If you hear yourself saying any of those things, or you're around people who you hear saying those things, I know he better. Yeah, okay. It's not irritable or resentful. I didn't get this. I expect this. I demand this. It doesn't rejoice in doing wrong. And friends, we really have to get to a space where our sisters are doing wrong, we have to encourage them. Because the word tells us we rejoice in what truth is. Better are the wounds of a friend, right? So we have to be able to sit in the space to say, no, you can't demand that. You could want it and you could be disappointed if you don't get it. But to demand it is to be all of these things that love is not. Love actually bears all things. It believes, it hopes, and we get through all of these things. Key line that I want us to think about when you go a couple verses down, it says, when I was a child, I acted like a child, I thought like a child, I behaved like a child, I reasoned like a child. All of these childish things when I grew up, I put away childish things. So isn't it kind of childish to be holding our breath and stomping our feet and demanding and pouting over what we better get, what we want, what the other person better do for us, how love is proven because somebody on in some multi-million dollar marketing company decided to sell us a story about what love is supposed to look like, how many roses, what color roses, how many candies. If it's yellow roses, what does it mean? If it's red roses, what does it mean? Am I only in the friend zone? All of those things that people have spent a lot of time and money brainwashing us about what love is supposed to look like and sound like and feel like instead of what the word tells us. But here's the thing that's important for us to understand, or one of the things that's important to understand. It makes sense that we go through these processes, but it also makes sense, and it's also really important that we grow up. Now, how do we grow up emotionally? How do we grow up? Well, we grow up by understanding that life is a process. We grow up by understanding that there are stages that we go through in relationships. There's stages that we go through as we develop and become our best selves. We don't just automatically wake up one day and step from being a child, demanding everything, expecting everything, to become our amazing, wild selves. But there's actually a developmental process that we navigate through. And it's ways to battle also. Remind me to tell you about this, Sean. So we get out of the battle zone when we understand that we're developing, woman, inspiring, leading, and developing. And one of the sources that I love to use when we talk about developing is Erickson's stages of psychosocial development. A guy named Eric Erickson developed this. And it goes through from birth to the end of our lives, from the cradle to the grave. But the other thing about Erickson stages is it shows up over and over and over again in every new space that we start, in a new relationship, in a new job, in a new friendship. Over and over again, we see ourselves developing and becoming. So I want to take you through it really, really quickly. This is just a bird's eye view, as they would say, of these stages of development, and think about them in our relationships. So we start off either developing trust or mistrust, and either I trust you or I don't. Now, the challenge with this in adulthood is that if you didn't have great experiences in childhood, it might pop up later, and I'm going to show you why. If I if I learn to trust because the environment has created trust for me, then out of that I have hope. Remember where the word says that with love, it hopes all things. If I don't get to develop trust in this relationship, and instead I have mistrust, then I'm going to withdraw. I'm going to pull away from what I later need to have, which is intimacy and integrity. But if I do learn to trust, then I develop autonomy. The next stage is autonomy. Autonomy is that sense of self that that I can do this. I can stand alone. I don't need you to help me do this all the time. And this is so important because we go through this stage in our relationships. You see people in the space where you don't see her without him. She can't wear that unless he says what color. She only likes what he likes. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And if that I doesn't begin to show up, then there's this space where we lose ourselves. But if the I develops, then I will go forward in this relationship. If I'm so attached that I don't have any autonomy, I become compulsive. And in relationships, that can really be obsessive. I need this other person, like I need the air. Out of that, if I develop autonomy, then I have initiative. I grow into the stage of initiative. I can do things. I can take the first step. I can invite them out. I can buy the flowers. There are some things that I can do because I can take the initiative for the romance in the relationship just as well as I can expect him to, instead of being inhibited, being afraid, wondering if I do this, will I be seen a certain way? The next stage we grow into is industry, and that is the doing of things. I developed competency in this. I learned this thing. I forget which preacher that talked about study that thing. You want to be a wife? Study that thing. Every other career that we take, we got to go to school, get some pieces of paper. A lot of student loan money goes into being competent. Well, what does it look like to be competent as that bride, as that wife? If not, I experience inferiority. I'm not as good as other people. I'm definitely not as good as that virtuous woman. In Proverbs. But if not, I feel inferiority. And then out of that inferiority, I can get stuck and not even try to move forward anymore. But if I develop that initiative, which moves me forward to try things and make things happen, then I've got a strong identity. Who am I in this relationship? I'm not his mama. I'm not his sister. I'm not his former anybody. I am me. And how do I fit in this space at this stage of my life? Who am I? If I know who I am, then I can be true to myself. Out of knowing my identity, I can develop fidelity. I know who I am, and I don't have to be confused. I don't have to put on a role and become everybody else for everybody else. I get to just be me and be true to that person. Then comes intimacy. Not just talking sexual intimacy. Intimacy, somebody else coined the phrase. I don't know who. I'd love to give who credit. Into me, see. I open up. I get to be my soft self. I get to be my vulnerable self. I get to show my insecurities. I get the identity and initiative doesn't mean I don't have insecurities. It means I know where they're coming from and I know who to go to resolve them. Out of intimacy grows love. I develop love over my true self. If I walk down this path, I end up with isolation. I pull away into myself. And any of you know you can be isolated even while you're in a relationship. You can be sleeping right beside each other and be closed off to yourself. You can be sexually active with somebody and be closed off to yourself, pushing away out of intimacy. Developing love becomes the next stage of generativity. I become generous. I am able to give beyond just this relationship, beyond just my primary relationships. I become part of community. I'm able to give my best self and care about what goes on in the world around me, the world at large, my other elements of community. If I don't grow into care in this and the stagnant, anybody knows what happens to stagnant water? Yep, all kinds of things grow there. Mosquitoes and all kinds of stuff. We don't want that. Stagnation produces rejection. We push people away. We push people away with our hands. We push people away with our words. We push people away with our rested mean face. We push people away when we don't develop care. But if we do, if we learn to trust, if we learn and grow into autonomy, if we have initiative and industry, if we have a strong sense of identity and learn intimacy, and we're able to give and generate, then the final stage is integrity. I can truly walk the path that's designed for me. Out of that integrity is wisdom. Then I know what patience looks like. Then I know what hope looks like. Then I know what endurance looks like because I'm not grabbing hold of the passing shiny. Happy? I am delving into joy. There is wisdom. If not wisdom, if not integrity, then there is despair. There's hopelessness. There's what's the use? Things never work out right for me. How come everybody else gets what I don't get? How come they delivered flowers for her and my desk is still empty? And where there is despair, disdain will quickly follow. And we've seen people, we know people who have who walk the mantra and have decided that there is no such thing as love, there are no good men out there, life is just horrible, and then we die. And that is not the path that we are trying to take. Because ladies, I can tell you, while it looks like there is a battle, while we are in this space of the struggle, we must understand. I just have to tell you, take off the battle gear. And we understand this shirt was developed by Keep Rowing Ministries. Satan is coming for battle, but God prepared me for war. Guess what? The war has already been won. We get to be wild.